So let's start. So in the last class, I have discussed about the nodes, why the node concept is here. I mean, while slaves concept, why we use that and how to do that. Whether it can be Windows or it can be Linux or Mac. I mean, so today we'll see some new topic from Jenkins. It's called authorization and authentication. I mean, to keep it to keep the Jenkins secure. I mean, simply. See, I'm logging in as a test user every day. Correct. Is this one user? Can I have multiple users? Let's say we are there, I mean, as a team, everyone can't use the same user, no. So based on their role, we'll give the access, right? We'll restrict them. Let's say I'm a developer. I don't need a Jenkins admin access. I just need to see my job. I just click on it and I'll see whether it's success or a failure like this. Just to read access is fine for me. So based on my role, I mean, or I mean anyone whoever it is. So based on their role, we'll give them access. So this access restriction, what type of access are there, and what type of users are there, and of course how to create users also, that we'll see today. So through that only we'll log into Jenkins, based on that only we'll be giving access to those logged in users. So first, let's go to manage Jenkins. We have something called security. Sorry, yeah, security. This is where we define, see here, define who is allowed to access or use the system. It means Jenkins. In the definition itself, it is present. So we are with the security option, we control who needs to be access Jenkins, who needs to do what. And of course, here you can see something called users. It's like creating our own users and log in with those users. See, I have test user. Let's create a new user. Simply from create user. Anything. Hmm, God. Email address something. It's not really validate anything. The user is created. Now I can log in with this user. Simply log out. Hmm. See, I can log in, right? See, I can see all. Sorry, I can see all the options. Why I can see all the options? Because I just simply created a user. That's it. Not really didn't do anything, right? Didn't give any permissions. Nothing really. But how can I got the permissions? How I got the permissions? How can I see everything? Maybe something is there inside it, right? Let's see that. Let's go to Manage Jenkins. This is where everything comes. Security. This is where everything is coming. See, authentication and something called authorization. We'll see both today. No problem. So authentication is, it's like a types of authentication. What does it mean, types of authentication? I don't get it. What does it mean? How many modes of authentication is there? Let's say if you open any website, let's say, either you create a new account or you can log in using Gmail, right? That option also will be there. Create your own account or log in using Gmail. These are all authentication types. Either use this or use that. Creating your own account means within the tool, within that website, you're creating account only specific to that tool. Using Gmail means some third party Gmail is there. I mean, our mail is there. So we are using that to access to this. How it works and all, forget about that. So I'm just trying to say like there will what are like kind of a multiple types of authentication. Here also we have multiple types of authentication. Let's see what are those. The first one option disable keep me signed in because this will show you when we are logging in. You can disable it, you can enable it, it's fine. Just like remember me. If you go to any website, remember your password or something like that, you will do yes or no, right? Similar thing. You can ignore it, no problem. And of course, allow users to sign up. It means, you know what is it? Sign up, sign in. If you have account, you'll sign in. If you don't have account, click on the sign up, you'll register your account. This won't enable by default. We don't enable it because we'll give the access. We'll create a user by ourselves. And by ourselves means the admin, whoever is maintaining it. This is not a public tool. It's a private tool, internal tool for our application, I mean for our organization, right? We don't enable this thing. So let's ignore it. Now come to security realm. Click on the security realm. So you will see multiple things. Let's go one by one. So these are all authentication types. What type of authentication that you want to use? Let's start with Jenkins own user database. What does that mean is internally, I mean, what is this authentication type is? You can use Jenkins users in order to log into the server. What are those Jenkins users? Test and prod we just created, right? What is this? Yeah. So these users are Jenkins internal users, only specific to this tool. So if you select this Jenkins own data user database, you can use any of this user to log in, and you can log in based on their permissions. Forget about permissions now, but just think about login only. Permissions I'll tell you again. So that's what about Jenkins own user database. I mean internal users, whoever we created within the Jenkins, we can use those users to log in. There is something called delegate to servlet container. What is this delegate to servlet container is? If you deployed your Jenkins tool using any application server like Tomcat, if you deployed your Jenkins using Tomcat or let's say Wildfly, that's also one of the tool, you can use that application server users to log in. Let's take some Tomcat now scenario. So we have Tomcat and we deployed Jenkins var file into Tomcat and we are using it. In Tomcat, if you know, there is a Tomcat users.xml, right? In that file, we define the users for Tomcat, correct? If you select this option in Jenkins and if you save it, you can use that user, whoever the users are present in the Tomcat users.xml file. You can use those users and I mean their passwords to log into Jenkins. Got what I'm saying? So Jenkins own user database means internally within the Jenkins, whoever users are there, we can use them to log in to Jenkins. Delegate to servlet container means if you have deployed Jenkins through Tomcat or through some other application server, you can use those application server users to log in. For our case, Tomcat. Tomcat is an application server which we have used to deploy our application, right? But not Jenkins. We didn't deploy Jenkins with Tomcat, but generally we use that to deploy. And in that, what happened? Tomcat users.xml file will be there. Whoever users present in that file, we can use them to log in. I think if I remember, we have test user something. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, test user. So you can use the test user to log into Jenkins. But it won't work now because we didn't deploy Jenkins using Tomcat. We installed with apt and as a system service, we ran it. So now this option won't work. This will work only when we deploy Jenkins with Tomcat. So that's about this delegate to servlet container. Next thing, let's go to here. Unix user group database. Unix user group database means our Linux server users. Our Linux server users. Let's say we have Ubuntu users, Jenkins, so many users are there, test users on there. So Unix user group database means wherever this Jenkins server is running, let's say Jenkins server is running in a Linux machine, some Linux machine. And in that Linux machine, there will be some users, right? With any of those users, you can able to log in. Got it? With any of those users, you can able to login. Got it? We have, we can try this, no problem, don't worry. We will try this one. So let's select this. Say, let's close this. Let's save it. I hope I remember my password. Log out. Ubuntu user is there. Invalid again. What is the heck is the password? Okay, I can't able to log in. Let me log into EC2 server first. I mean the Linux server, sorry. Mhm. Just disabling the security. Let's see. I can't able to log into it. Mm, first, mhm. Yeah, it's done. Let me go. Refresh. Okay. So I disable authentication for now. Let me enable it again. Security. If it's only is it database. So, this I'll tell you. Don't worry. Whatever this. Let's save it for now. That's okay. Yeah. So, so what I was saying, yeah. Let's go to here. So what happens here is, sorry, where is it? Yeah, security. Sorry, we have to use. Sorry, we can use. Sorry, what is it? Yeah, sorry. We can use Linux users also. It's not working, but let me. I'll try again. Don't worry. Um, in the class. So whatever the users are there, let's see. Okay. All these users can log in. I mean, of course, who have shell, maybe root, Ubuntu can log in. I think Jenkins also can log in. So whoever Linux users are there, they can log in. So, but we need a plugin for that. So let's try the plugin. So directly it will be difficult. So first go to where is it? Jenkins. For now, let's save it. Plugins. First, what we have to do, there is something called PAM plugins. PAM. P-A-M. Is it available? PAM. Yeah, see. This plugin adds authentication via PWA and supports both Linux means Linux and Linux system users and groups through PAM. So PWA security relay. You have to install this plugin, install it. It's done. Now let's go to manage Jenkins, security. So this you have to use PW authentication. So that's it. Let's save this and try whether this will work or not. So, log out. Let's try. Still no. I have to disable the hell. Let's wait. Why it is not working? So we have configured the plugin. Wait. That's fine. We have added the plugin. Yeah. It's the same thing. Let's go to manage Jenkins, setup security. Let's for now move on. I'll tell you again. So now, yeah, sorry, I was telling uh, Unix user database on PW auth authentication. So these two helps us in login to Jenkins with the Linux users. I mean, obviously, so who wherever we have installed the Jenkins server, I mean, if it is Linux, so with that users we can log in, not some other random machine. Do remember that. And there is last option called authorization called LDAP. So in organizations, what happens is you simply don't use any of this. You simply don't create users in Jenkins and use it, or you don't use Linux users. No, it's generally won't do. What happens is if you remember when you go to any organization, first they'll create you an UID, yeah, an user ID, username, something like that, right? So for everyone it will be same. I mean, they'll create a user ID, they'll create an email, something like that, username, something. Usually they'll store every user information with an organization in some server. That's called LDAP, like lightweighted directory access protocol. It means in this LDAP server, it's a service we can able to install by ourselves in Linux or in Linux, and we can store our users over there, user information over there. So it will have a URL and some port number 3269, 3289, 369 if I remember correctly. So you have to give the server details here. Root DN, root password, multiple things will be there. Manager DN, manager password, these two you have to give. And root DN we have to give. Server you have to give. I mean the endpoint of the LDAP server. Once you give these details, Jenkins will fetch the users from there. At the time, what you can do is, at the time how you log in? You log into Jenkins with your own user ID. With your own user ID. Like if I let me show you one more plugin. There is this plugin called sorry. There is this plugin called Active Directory. Let me show that. I think it should be there. The directory CS. See if you let's say you went into company and the company gave you a laptop, right? Now, so how you log in? They'll give you credentials. Hey, this is your UID. You have to use this. Hope you know all these things. So, and you log in through them. But how? They simply don't create an user in Windows laptop with that ID. No, they'll integrate either this LDAP authentication, which I mentioned, right? They'll integrate this LDAP, or if it is Windows, there is something called Active Directory. Active Directory in Windows. You can install this in Windows, not in Linux. It's Microsoft one, Microsoft Active Directory. So they'll use any of these and they'll integrate with your system, and you can log in with your own UIDs. I mean, let's say in our Jenkins scenario, I'm using Activate or I'm using, let's say, LLab, anything, whatever it is. So whoever users are present in the LLab, I mean, or let's say Active Directory, they can log into Jenkins. They can use their own UIDs and they can log into Jenkins. So is this clear, particularly Active Directory or LLab point? What I'm saying, or any doubts? You can ask. No, any doubts you can ask. Or it's confusing, I'll say it again. No worries. Anything? Anyone? All right.
No, no.
So LDAP and Active Directory, these two are like servers we set up. I mean, we are IT guys, anyone. So in every organization, this will be common actually. So IT guys will create an user ID for you, and you will use that user ID for everything to log in to your laptop, to some tools internally, or to attendance, to apply the attendance sheet, something like that. So we can integrate that LDAP or Active Directory into Jenkins also. So that what happens, you can use your own user ID, whatever IT has created for you in order to access company tools. You can use the same UID to log into Jenkins also. Here you don't need to create separate user again for Jenkins, like test or prod something. You don't need any of this because you have your own UID. You can able to log in through that through LDAP or Active Directory. For now, we don't have any of those, so we can't use this. So let's come to our own terms. So that's about security realm. I mean, what type of security types are there? Authentication types to keep it simple. Either through you can use Active Directory to log in. Active Directory users can log in. Whoever users are present in the Active Directory, they can log in. Delegate to servlet container. If you have deployed your Jenkins through Tomcat or some application server, whoever is present in the application server, they can log in. Jenkins own user database. It means internally within the Jenkins, you can create users and you can use them to log in. LDAP also similar thing to Active Directory. It's an whoever present in the LDAP they can able to log in, but you have to integrate LDAP same as Active Directory. PW or authentication and use Unix user database is like wherever you install the Jenkins in which Linux server, in that Linux server whoever users are there, we can use those users to log in. But it didn't work. I'll try again. I'll let you know. Don't worry. So it should work with this. And none means nothing. You will disabling it. It means you are keeping it public. Anyone who knows this URL can able to open this without any authentication. If I save it, if I save it, it won't even ask login and all. See, let's go to Jenkins. See, I can see anything, right? Let's log in. This is normal. So none means anyone can log in. This error came again. Let me just wait. So that's about the security, sorry, authentication types. Hope it's clear. Is it clear? I mean, how many types, authentication types are there? Any doubts so far? Anything? If no doubts, we will move forward. Now we'll see one more thing here. See, until now, we just seen like what are the authentication types? I mean, like how many ways users can log in or how many types of users can log into Jenkins. This is what we did, right? Now what we do is after login, okay, now I logged in. What are the permissions should I have need to have? See, let's go to security again. So go to the security relevant authentication. So I logged in Jenkins user database or LDAP or some Unix user or some Active Directory, anything. I logged in, I chosen this any of this setting and I logged in. It's fine. I log into Jenkins. Happy. Now what access should that user should have? What types of access the user should have? Admin access? We can't give admin access to everyone. We need to restrict the users. That's where authorization comes. Authentication is types of users, types of authentication types of methods in order to log in. Authorization is types of permissions after you log in. Got it? We can do one by one here, no problem. It's three are very simple. It's very simple, don't confuse. Anyone can do anything first. It means whether you log in or not, if you know this URL, anyone can do anything. Let's save it. I logged out. See, I even you don't need to log in. Everything you can create and you can go to manage Jenkins, do anything. You can create any job. See, new item option is there. Anyone can do anything. That's what we gave, right? There is it. Here. It does not care about who logged in. Anyone can do anything means really literally anyone. If someone knows this URL, they can do anything. And there is something called logged in users can do anything. It means whoever logged in, they can do anything. They have admin access. Whoever logs into the Jenkins server, they have admin access. That's why by default, this is the option which was there. That's why I just created a users and logged in with the user. That's it, right? You can see every option. So that's why this is the thing. And there is a check button. Allow anonymous read accesses. If the users don't log in, they can see what are there. I mean, what type of jobs are there and blah blah like that. I don't want anyone to see. So logged in users can do anything. If I save it, it asks me to log in. See? So logged in users can do anything means if I log in, I have admin access. Let's say I log in as a, I think there is user prod, right? See, like logged in users can do anything. Anyone can do anything means you don't need to log in at all. You can do anyone can do anything if they know the URL. Logged in users can do anything is once they log into Jenkins server, they can do anything. Until now, these are not a good approach, right? Anyone can do anything means no, anyone can do anything. Literally, whoever knows this URL, they can able to do. Logged in users can do anything. There are also, I mean, if I log into Jenkins, I can do anything. I mean, like no restrictions. So these options won't work. These will work. Matrix-based security, project-based matrix operation security. These are the ones which we restrict access. Let's go to matrix-based security. See, these are the permissions we have, and we can add our user. I think we have test user and prod user, right, in Jenkins. So we have selected Jenkins own user database. It means test and prod users are there. We can have to use that to log into Jenkins. Now here we are adding the user. I mean, these are the permissions we can give. User or group. If you see anonymously without login, if someone opens, what access should they have? If I checkbox anything, it will come. If I don't select anything, anonymous users without login, they don't get anything. Authenticated users. What access authenticated users should have? Let's say if I log in, what access should I have? Not just for a specific user, it's for overall. Maybe for overall, if anyone log in, they can able to overall. If you see, there are multiple types of overall credentials, agent, jobs, run, blah blah something. You can give whatever you want, but mandatorily you have to give overall first. Overall either admin or a read. Let's say whoever authenticates, I want only read access for that. And what to read? Maybe job they can read. Say that's it. So what's happening here is, let's say we have a house. You want to access the kitchen or let's say bedroom. What you do? First you open the main door. You come into main door, right? Once you came into main door, then you can go to bedroom door or kitchen, something like that. Directly, you can't jump out from outside to kitchen, right? There are certain doors should be open. You have to follow that. In here also, in permission levels, overall is mandatorily you have to give. Overall is to authenticate to log into Jenkins. Once you log into Jenkins, I mean with overall you log into Jenkins. Once you log in, these are the permissions the user should have. Credentials, they can access credentials, they can know, block something. So if you don't give this one, this is the main door. You didn't give the main door permissions, but you just gave the bedroom permission or kitchen permission. But users can they come inside the house? No, right? First you have to allow the main door. Then you can give limited access. So overall has to be given either read or administrator. If you give admin, all the permissions I got, but I don't want to give admin to anyone who logged in. I want to give only read. I want them to log in. After login, I am restricting them access. Let's add our own user here. In this, I mean, we're not creating a new user. We're just adding existing users. Test user and prod user. Let's remove this. I don't need this. See, for test user, I'm giving admin access. Or let's say for prod, I'm giving admin access. For test, I'm just giving read access. I mean, he can log into Jenkins with the overall read, and he can read the job. And I think that's it. I don't want him to create a job, build a job, cancel, configure, delete a job, move the job. I simply want him to read the job maybe and read the view. Any other read as the view the credentials. That's it. Let's save it. Prod has admin access if you see. So now I log in as prod. Prod can do anything, right? Simply I'll log out. I'll log in as test. If you observe, some are missing. Of course, I can see the job because I gave the job read permission. You can see the job, but there is no new item option here. I cannot create a new job because I removed the permission for the test user. And there is no manage Jenkins here. See why? Because I removed the manage Jenkins. That's why. Even if you go to inside a job, you cannot do anything. You cannot even build it because I didn't give the permission. Let's give the user permission. Let's see. Let you log in as a prod. See, I can see everything here, right? See, because prod has admin access. Let's say for test user, I want to build access to job. That's it. Build is fine. Remaining, or maybe workspace access. You can see the workspace. Save it. Now I log in as test user. He can build a job because just gave the permission. See, he can build it. He can check the workspace. Of course, I don't have an agent. Last time I tried, but yeah, that's okay. He can't configure anything. He can't configure the job. He can't configure manage Jenkins. He can't create any new thing. That's it. He can log into Jenkins because we gave overall read permission. And once you log in, he can build the job. He can see the log, not more than that. That's how you control. What is it? You control the access with matrix-based security. Got it? So is this clear? Matrix based security. There is one more thing called project based matrix security. It's similar thing if you see, nothing really, not much changes. But what is the difference is matrix based security is for overall Jenkins server, you will give permissions. But project based matrix security is for each and every job, you can have a different permissions. Let's say, let me just prompt here. Let me just give admin access for now. Let's create a new job. Test job, prod job. It's simple, nothing really inside the job. Just create and some other name job. QA, something, whatever it is. Now what happens here is you have four jobs. Now test user is there. I mean prod I have admin access, test user is there. With matrix security, what I did, I have restricted access to test user. He can log in and he can go inside jobs and he can build it or see the logs. Oh, I got another requirement saying that hey, I want test user to build only two jobs. And other two jobs he can only see it. How can I do that? Let me repeat again. So I have overall four jobs. My requirement is my lead take came to me and he told, hey, test user is there. He can build the test job. Give the access to build the test job. As well as prod job also there. Give him access to build the prod job also. But this QA job and UAT job, for these two jobs, just give him only read access. He should not build these two jobs. This is the requirement. Here what's happening is we are restricting user based on the job level. How to do that? That's how we do with the new option called project based matrix security. So for now here what we do is let's add the test user here. We give overall read and overall job read. This is fine. Now we go to job internally for each and every job. Let's go to prod job. He can build the prod job. I mean test user. Prod job, configure it. You will see a new option called see enable project security. You can see an option. Click on it. Add your user here. Test user. So test user can read the job. He can build the job for this test production job. For other job, let's go to QA. For QA, he cannot build. He can only view the job. Just job read. And for test job, he can build the job. Build option is we need to give for test. Build within the job. I give the build. Sorry, give the build and read. So like this, I'll go to each and every job. I'll give separate different permissions based on the user. Now what happens? Prod job and test job, he can he can build it because we gave the build access. But remaining two jobs, we just gave him read access. This will happen. This we can do, or this option will be enabled in within the job only when you select project based matrix security. Let's log in as test. See, he can see all the jobs. Obviously, you can't see create a new job and manage and everything. Let's go to prod job, dot test job, anything. He can build it. See, yeah, I can he can see the build option right. Remaining options we didn't give permissions. So configure, delete, something like this. We just gave only build. That's it. Let's go to UAT job. See, he cannot even build it because for this job we didn't give the permission to test. Like this job level restriction we can able to do for specific users. He needs to access only this job, he needs to access only this job. Like this we can control. Got it? So project level matrix based security is individual project level we can able to give the access. This one matrix based security is sorry overall Jenkins we can able to give access. Who logged in, who didn't log in, so like that. Project based is we can simply sorry, we can simply like individual project level we can give access. So this you got it. Mm, there is one more thing apart from these two project based matrix security. I mean matrix based security and project based matrix security. Apart from these two, there is one more thing. There is something called role based authentication strategy. I think role based authorization strategy, whatever it is, based on the roles. Here, what's happening is, see, let's say we have 100 jobs, correct? I selected matrix based security. So, can you really go to 100 jobs and assign the permissions? How much time it will take? How much time it will take, right? I can't do that. I don't want to do that at all. That first, correct? Mostly I'll use matrix based security. It's fine for me. Or there is one more option called role based strategy. Here, role based, what happens is we create a role inside Jenkins, and what we do is like based on the role, we give the permissions and we assign that role to users. Simple, like I create a role. The role has some permissions. Let's say role can build the job, as an example. I create a role and I give some permissions to the role. Now what happens? I have users, right? I'll add users to the role. Now the users will have all those permissions which has the role. For that, you need to install the plugin first. Let's see that. Don't worry. Let's do this. Go to available plugins, role type role. See role based authentication authorization strategy. Install. Installed. Go to manage Jenkins. Very good, sorry. You'll get a new option inside the security. Role based stats. But we cannot do this like this. First, let's save it. There is a new option somewhere. Let's select the role based strategy. Save it. There will be a new option. Manage and assign roles. See, if you select the option in the security, you'll get this. Manage and assign roles. It's simple. Create a role, assign the roles to someone. So it'll be easy. So first, global roles. First, let's see what are types of roles are there. There are three types of roles. Global roles. Global role means it will apply to overall Jenkins. Item role means specific to project. We can define the role. And agent roles. Agent role means the slaves. If we have slaves and if we want to control the permissions to slaves, we can do this. So we can create roles. Let's simply create a global role. Maybe he have admin access. Let's say roles to add admin role. So we're adding admin role and we give admin access to him. So this is something. Save it. Now go to assign role. Assign role. Whom to assign this role? You have to add a user, right? I want to add test user, so, as an example. Now what happens? If you see, these are the roles. Admin role we just created and admin default role. If I choose this option, whatever the permissions this role have will apply to this test user. It means test user will become the admin. See, that's all. Simply add it. That's see, role admin role is there. Assign roles I gave him admin role. So test became admin. Or you want to restrict access. Let's create another role maybe. Read role. Read role. Something. Add. He can log into Jenkins. Overall read. He can read the jobs. He can configure the job. He can build the job. He can cancel also. Hmm, I think yeah, this is fine. And similarly, go to item roles. You can add item role here. Similar agent role also here. Now save this one. Now go to assign roles. I have to assign this role. See, read role. Now I'll give read role. I'll assign this role to test user. So now what happens? Whatever the permissions in the role are there, it'll apply to test user. Let's try. So saved it. Log out. Test. See, he can see all the jobs. If you go to one job, he can configure it. He can build it. Because I gave him configure access, but I did not give him delete access. The test user. In that role, I gave him build access, configure access, I think, but not delete and anything. And that I assigned that role to this test user. Now what happened? Whatever the permissions in that role, I got to test user, right? You know, this is easy, right? Compared to other things. Similar way, as global roles, item roles also we can add. Maybe I'll use like read role. What is the pattern? Here pattern is if you click on this one, we are giving sorry we are creating a role for jobs. So let's say the jobs I have 100 jobs. If job name starting from test star, let's say this role, whatever the role I'm creating, will apply to this all the jobs which the name starts with the test. If I roll like this, see pattern. So in order to use this, you have to make sure that sorry, where is this? We have to follow the same pattern. In our case, what is the pattern? Star underscore job. So underscore job is common for us, right? Star can be before underscore, it can be anything. We don't care. So now what we are doing is we are creating a role which has a pattern underscore job. What credentials you have to give for, I mean, what access you have to give for the job? I want them to read, create, configure, cancel, build. The create is not required. Move, workspace also I'll give something. Credentials, I can view the credentials. Save it. That's fine. Manage Jenkins, sometimes this happens. Assign roles, item role. Okay, they haven't came here. So once you create item role, it will come here. So like maybe read role pattern is for job. So here pattern, if you're giving a pattern means you have to follow the same pattern for the job names. So since I have the pattern star dot job dangling meta character star, how to give them dot? Yeah, dot underscore you can give like this. Maybe let's try like this. We cannot give star it seems. Pattern, did they give an example? Add question mark and exclamatory to start. It's not accepted. It's, like, you can give dot like this and add it. Some permissions, whatever the permissions you want them to be. Assign roles. You can add a go to item roles. See, read role is here, right? You can add a user. Maybe let's say test. Choose the box which is read role. So now whatever the permissions in this role have, that will apply to user. Now if you see we have two roles. I mean for test user we have assigned two roles. One is read role in the global roles. He have some permissions in this role, and one more role in the item roles. This role permissions also he'll get like that. So like that you can able to do it. Same you can create a agent role also and assign to test user. Same thing. That permissions also will come to test. So like this we can create a role. Sorry, where is it? We can create a role and we can give some permissions to role and we attach the roles to the users. There are three types of roles: global roles for overall Jenkins, item roles for job level, as well as what is that? Another thing. This one, sorry, agent roles. If you want to restrict access to agents, so three roles are there. You can create role, give some permissions, assign that role to a user. A user. So that's about roles. Hope it's clear. So that's the today's topic. I mean, authorization, authentication, and authorization. Authentication is where what type of authentication types are there. Authorization is what type of access are there. So these were the main. These are the things. Even these were the things that we in our organization we are using Active Directory, and here project based because we didn't needed roles. We don't have that many users. I mean, we're completely restricting users. So to Jenkins, so we're using project based metrics authorization. It depends on whatever the use case. So hope it's clear, right? Any doubts so far in this class? Any doubts? Anything? Hmm? Okay. So authentication is
No,
pretty much important in every case, not just Jenkins, everything, right? You don't have an authentication, anyone can do anything with that your tool. Right? So this is important. All right. Do practice and yeah, let me know in the group if any doubts. Okay. Hope it's clear. Bye all. Bye. Have a nice day.